If it weren't for COVID, I'd be full making out with my husband. Every commercial break, live on air.
I mean, how do you feel like the judges have been towards you this season thus far? Do you feel like they've been fair? Do you think that they appreciate the, extra added work that you're kind of putting into this?
I love that they're treating us like any other couple because we don't want any freebies. We want to be judged just like everybody else. But I do love that they have appreciation for things that we are attempting or trying. So we did some lifts this week, and even Len said, like, I commend you for the lifts that you did. Because that is hard. 2 girls doing that, And even Carrie Ann told JoJo, like, some of the guys better watch out because you have an incredible lead. Like, you're really leading Jenna. So I'm so grateful for that. But, they have been giving us some feedback and some critiques to work on. So we want it. We want to take it in. We want to prove ourselves each week. The judges have been awesome.
Yeah. Do you think that they've been unnecessarily hard on any other particular couples? I mean, I know when I spoke to Cody and Cheryl the other night after the show, they felt the judges were a bit tough on them given their circumstances. Did you agree?
I think because the competition is so strong and fierce that they've been very picky early on. And I don't think that they've been this hard week 3, week 4. But again, I think it reflects on the cast, and the cast is so strong. We're seeing 8 week 2. That's crazy. So I feel like they have been a little bit tougher from the beginning, but I think it's because they have to be.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, you never know what how a celeb is going to be like on paper. And then when you see them on the dance floor, you're like, wow, like everybody is like, I have no idea who could be eliminated next week because everybody is so good. Walking
into last week's elimination, JoJo and I just kept looking at each other. We're like, who's going to be even in the bottom 2?
Right, yeah.
Not even eliminated. Who on earth is going to be in the bottom 2?
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, obviously this season we have Sharna and Brian, our first, celebrity pro couple dancing together.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like that's an advantage or a disadvantage at times?
Coming from somebody that works with their husband and has to dance with their husband, I think it is hard because you do have to set a boundary and not bring work home. And so the fact that they do live together, but then have to go to these rehearsal intimate spaces, and she has to critique him and be hard on him so he can improve. I think that it's a really strong move on their end and kind of shows how strong their relationship is, that they can go through a very stressful experience like this while dating.
Right.
But it's just been so beautiful to see. I've seen Sharna in a few different relationships, and I've never seen her this happy and just glowing. And I'm just so happy for her. And I've loved getting to know Brian. Brian and JoJo have this hysterical little relationship. It's so funny. They're like constantly teasing each other, but like there for one another. So it's been really, really fun to see Brian and Sharna dancing together on the show.
Definitely. I know she had to fire back a little bit at fans who were saying that she was kissing too much while they were on the show. I mean, do you think that
if it weren't for COVID, I'd be full making out with my husband. Every commercial break, live on air. You know what I mean? So their own.
Definitely. Do you and Val make it a point not to bring work home, or do you guys, discuss your next dances for the next week, or do you kind of like separate the two?
Yeah, it was a challenge for us to find a good balance of work life and home life. And because we were constantly talking about work, and this was a few years ago. And so we really pushed ourselves to finish work at the door, come home and just be humans, just be a married couple. Obviously this season has been a little bit easier to do that because we can't live together because of COVID. So from afar, we're just checking in on each other. We'll like send each other some like sneak peek videos and be like, what do you think? What do you think? But yeah, I think that that's been something that we've really worked on, is leaving work at work and just coming home and being with each other.
Yeah. I mean, how do you kind of keep the romance alive during all of this too? Because obviously you're not living together. You're probably just waving to each other from like across the room. Like it's gotta be uncomfortable at times. Not uncomfortable, but just hard at times.
1000%. It is not fun. And my love language is physical touch. So I just want to be a full koala on him, kissing him. Like, yeah, that's just me. So it's been a little bit difficult, but we both have the same end goal and we know how much this means to each other. So, you know, COVID is a real thing. And we want to support one another through this season. I think he has an incredible shot this season with Olivia. And so I just want to be there to support him. But yeah, thank goodness for FaceTime. You know what I mean?